Welcome to Go Big or Go Broke, where you'll learn the method, madness, and making of impactful millionaires. And now, here's your host with the most, Cathy Karabetsos.
Well, hey there, podcasters. I'm Cathy Karabetsos, your host of Go Big or Go Broke. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a very special guest with me today who has an extensive experience as a social media strategist with demonstrated history of working in the online media industry. She's skilled in Facebook ads, messenger bots, sales funnels, network, and relationship building by utilizing conferences and industry events. She is the founder of Social Sonja Media. Along with her husband, Social Sonja Media is a digital marketing agency that helps real estate agents and brokers grow their business with the use of social media marketing, Facebook ads, email marketing, and SEO. Sonja's objectives are to reach all goals for her clients. Working with her team is a true passion, as well as making sure they're all up to date with social media trends and trainings. Please join me in welcoming not only my friend, a colleague, the woman that I love to call the conference queen, Sonja Durik. Sonja, welcome to the show. It is absolutely an honor to have you with me.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, this is a big honor for me. I'm very excited to actually chat with you right here and share all ideas and things I am working on right now.
Well, you are super on fire. I'm watching you. As you know, we are very good friends outside, offline, and online. We are hanging out in the same circles of influencers. It all came together by yet a friend who we know and love dearly, our copyright king, the king of outsourcing, Jeff J. Hunter. And I keep on introducing my guests. It seems like repeatedly that we all have come together at his hand. So we want to give a quick shout out to Jeff J. Hunter and his amazing team. Thank you for putting us together. So Sonja, let's dive right in. Tell us first and foremost, who is Sonja? Tell us about you, the lady, the woman behind the scenes, family woman that you are, and then we'll talk about business.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for mentioning all about how we are all connected. I truly believe in that we all are somehow connected together. We all come together at some point. So thank you so much for, mentioning that, because this is very important part for me. This is how I grow my business. This is how I, grow my brand, because I believe in connecting with people and building a relationship and building a network. So who is Sonja? Social Sonja really, is somebody who started as a blogger for mom's blogger. And the very first conference I went to was all about social media marketing. And I realized that I already was in love of doing social media for my blog, and I tried to really grow this side of my business. So at the time, I was a full-time 9-to-5 in the banking industry, and I wanted to have something. I was always entrepreneurial, and I really enjoyed writing about different things I was going through as a mother. And I love being mother. That's like my biggest role, and I really enjoy it. So, and I know you do too, because we always talk about, how did you, I always ask for advice, how do you balance things with kids and business. So I started with social media after I realized that there is something that I can actually get paid for, something I enjoy doing.
Absolutely.
For managing social media, developing different strategies for businesses when it comes to marketing. And I really started as a social media strategist, somebody who enjoyed putting together pages and making posts and making graphics and kind of telling the stories, and telling about the business on Facebook. But we know how everything goes with social media platforms. We have to be on top. So as I develop, myself and really grow the knowledge about social media platforms from perspective of organic reach, I also started developing that aspect of Facebook ads and, paid advertising. I really enjoyed it, especially because I got to know amazing people from these circles, amazing experts, and I got to travel to so many conferences just to polish on the skill. So right now, I really am deep dive in all Facebook marketing, paid traffic. I love Facebook. I love messenger marketing. So this is what I do. I enjoy working with real estate agents, as you mentioned before. That's my jam. And the reason why, because I really feel I can always relate to them in so many levels. And I always feel, the most important thing they need to always worry is build that personal brand first before they build a business. And I really, truly believe in that. And, as I was working more and more with agents, I realized I really know them. And so for me, conversation with real estate agent was always easy, and I was able to be, very quickly on the same page with them. So that was for me, very easy, because I tried to niche down in that.
Excellent.
Right. So, and moving forward, I'm actually niching down more to events, and we'll talk about it as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that. So right now I know that there's two focuses in your world. Correct me if I'm incorrect, if I did not get that right. Outside of your family, it is real estate. And then we have the conference side of the business that you're very passionate about. And I know that firsthand. And I love watching your energy when it comes to all that. And I know we're going to pull some great things together. One of these days, it's all going to come together, and I leave it to God to kind of align it the way that he's going to. But I know something enormous is going to come out of our relationships. We're going to be hugely impactful. I know we are already. We don't see our good works and how they're affecting people every day. We don't always get a peek into that. But I'm super excited about our future, Sonja. We have so many cool things happening right now, and your energy is just magnificent. I just want to take a quick step backwards and recognize your husband, who is in business with you as well.
Yes.
So Tyler and you are co-founders of the actual Social Sonja. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So it didn't really start this way, but he joined my team a year and a half ago, and he's into my young because I'm so love to be in front, I want to connect with people, I love to be known, I love to travel, I love to go to conferences. Yes. Well, he's opposite of that.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to be too much bothered. He likes to have his tasks, fulfill them. He is extremely good at being very direct with me, and which I actually love. I'm a very direct person, and if I ask for opinion, I ask to be like very honest and direct, and he's very like that. So he will just tell me right away how he feels. So, we learn to separate when we work together, and, husband and wife.
Absolutely.
And we are friends, first of all, and I cannot imagine not having him in my life because I really consider him being my best friend. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but it is true. I really, always can count on him on anything, whether it's business, whether, support me in parenting, or just like I need his advice. So it was logical, I think, for us to work together because, for example, I love to working with clients, I love to actually connecting with them, and I love to develop strategies, and he's very good at follow-up on, sending proposals and things like that, I always feel like, oh, okay, I need to send this. Like, for me, represent something that I know you understand, represent something you don't enjoy doing. I rather really talk with clients, I rather work on their strategy, I rather work on things that really makes me happy and that I'm good at.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. As you know, obviously, my husband and I are also in business, and he is the hero of my life story. End of story. He never gets enough kudos. I could never shout it out enough. Actually, I probably don't, just because he's not the man in front of the camera. He wants to stay private, and that's cool with me. But he literally is my best friend. So it does sound cliche, but I could never have been as successful at all without my husband. And we have 7 children. I know you have 2 beautiful boys, and I watch you all the time nurturing the relationship with those amazing beauties that God has given you. It's so heartfelt to see you grooming those 2 young men who are amazing, capable human beings with your husband. I love the family. I think it's the biggest part of your business, to be honest with you. You started nurturing those relationships first, and that's why you could send that back out to the world. You're going to have a great impact on the world. I know that already. I see it, and it's coming. So let's talk a little bit about, if we could, the conference side of my conference queen. I would love to hear about, where did you start with this? Why did you start it? What is your passion? How did this develop? And where are you going with that side of the business, Sonja?
Cathy, this is something I really didn't plan on doing at all. It wasn't something I had any kind of strategy in place about conferences. It really came to me naturally as I was going. I will be very honest with you, when I had my blog and really wanted to, understand how to learn better and more about social media, I followed this amazing, and I hope it's okay if I name it. This is Kim Garth, and I adore her. Like, I still follow her and learn so much from her. So, and I was following her, and I learned everything from her pretty much about social media marketing. And she actually had a giveaway. She was giving away a ticket to her conference. I didn't even know what I'm supposed to do at a conference. I just signed up, right? And guess what? I won. I had a VIP ticket at the conference, and I had never even been to conference. I had no idea what I'm supposed to do there when I arrived. Absolutely. So, I was very ready, and I was excited, and I arrived 2 hours earlier, and they were still kind of little mess, and they're trying to put everything together. And I arrived, and I started introducing myself, and I started connecting, and they said oh, who is this weirdo? But I was.
No, they didn't. You brought energy to the room.
Right. I was just, okay, I am going in and I want to really get to know them. So at the very first conference, I realized that, being in a VIP section, it's really being connected to the top of the top. I got, private strategy, right? So I got private strategy for a famous YouTuber, right? Yep. I got private strategies for huge companies. They gave me ideas. Well, how can I build my build? I couldn't even believe that this was happening, right? I didn't actually realize even how big they were, even because I was just so new into this, into space. So I realized that almost 90% of the room, there were social media strategists and social media digital marketers. Sure. And that was my aha moment, saying, hey, I can do this as well, right? And they recommended to me to go to a Social Media Marketing World, the biggest conference ever. And I was so curious about it, right? So I started working behind the scenes of the conference for 2 years in a row. And I learned.
Did you attend this year?
No, I didn't attend this year. But I have worked behind the conference, and I learned everything what a good conference means and what should attendees expect and how they should be treated and everything like that. So I was very amazed. And from there, I started going to different conferences that are more something I want to learn, polish my skills. I guess people noticed that what I was doing, and they approached me to coach them on going to a conference. I didn't know that was a thing. When I started asking, the same time, 2 people in the same week, they came to me and they asked me about this. So they had the same questions. I took time, I coached them and answered all the questions they had, and I realized, since there are some questions, I said, hey, private mastermind, I was here, and to the mentor, I said, do you want me to teach this to your students? And he said, yes. And then I asked another mentor, I said, do you want me to teach to your students? And she said, yes. So, and both groups were totally blown away with the information. They're like, nobody's teaching this is amazing. Right. So these kind of things that I said, okay, and I set up my group, because I want people that I need a conference to come to my group, right? Yeah. I put you in a position yourself as a leader and kind of have your own space that people can come to you, right? And I teach this as well. I always say, have your own group, have people come to you. So, and groups started growing, and again, I had amazing people that I started working with one-on-one, telling them about how to actually, how to create strategies for the conferences and how to build a relationship, how to build network, and what to expect out of the conference, right? So I take going to conference very seriously. I think it's something that people don't really take seriously, and by them knowing exactly what to do before, during, and after can really increase actually chances for them to really turn around their business.
I love it. And nobody is advertising or first of all, teaching, coaching, mentoring in this space. I've been a natural networker without formalities of what you teach. And I've obviously, I was a beta tester on your information. Thrilled to be it because, again, being a natural networker, I'm an extrovert like you are. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm as high energy, but I'm a little bit older and I've had to chill out a little bit with my 7 kids. So I've stuck around more locally. But I love your energy. And the fact is, they need you. I can see you, a vision that I have for you. Maybe this is something you want to think about. Like I could see Grant Cardone saying, Sonja, come with me. I need you to teach my audience what they need to do before, during, and after. Like you could bring such a new level to conferences because I know we all go there with great intentions, right? Well-intentioned. We want to go there. We want to network. We want to learn. We want to take that information back home. We want to implement it. We want to roll it out. And then it falls apart. We didn't do the basic things. We didn't get to the networking. We didn't do the events. We didn't plan in advance. We didn't take copious notes. And we sure in the world didn't follow up with all the people that we met within 48 hours when we got home from the event. And it goes by the wayside. In my industry, I've been gauging this for years, and I've been in business for 28 years. 78% or more of every networking contact that you make goes unrecognized, no follow-up, goes to the wayside. So there goes your money, your time, your resources, your energy, and everything else you've given to the event. So give us some tips. If you were to say, I am going to start with Social Sonja and I want to learn from her, like what are the top couple of things you would say about being prepared to spend, by the way, bigger money, go get those VIP seats so that you're sitting around better connected people who indeed want to learn with you. And you're going to get to know them for like-mindedness. What are some of your tips outside of sitting in VIP sections?
Well, if you can go to VIP, do that. But if you cannot, you can really win. You don't even have to be in VIP, right? I just enjoyed it because it was like really amazing thing to do. But I'm going to tell you, I am actually going to a local conference. It is Business Expo, and I'm preparing myself already with follow-up emails and follow-up sequences that I'm going to be sending to people that I need. I already know what kind of event this is, who is coming. I looked at the videos, I looked at the pictures, I read everything on the page, right? So I prepare myself. I know when I come, I know who I will be speaking. I look at the sponsors. People forget to connect with sponsors. Sponsors, most of the time, they have your audience. What if you write a blog for them? What if you do, help them in some way that they can utilize your skills? You know what? You can reach a bigger audience if you really connect with sponsors. So I look at the sponsors. I look at who is coming. I am preparing myself with a card that will have, I'm a huge business card. I want to be known for this. I know so many people say, we don't need business card 2019. Who needs it? You need it, because if you want to be in professional world, you need a business card. I know you can make a business card very modern. You can use something called Messenger Bot, and you can put it on your business card. So that makes you modern. But guess what? If you only have a bot, you cannot control the situation. And the reason why, because I was just coaching my client that was going to a real estate event, and he's a messenger bot expert. He is amazing. And, he said, I'm just going to have a bot. I said, I believe in cards. There was no time for him to do that. He just said, I will just use messenger bot, like a scan code, right? So he did it, and he came back, and I said, so tell me what happened. And he said to me, guess what? ManyChat was down that day. And I said, you see, I will always win this argument, always, because I believe that you have to have a business card. You can make it like really, up to date, but make sure you have it. And there's something about when I give my business card to them in hand, it's always like a nice quality thick one, right? And they always say, wow, what a nice card. What a nice logo, right? So it's always that wow moment you have, right? And then again,
an opportunity to brand yourself.
Absolutely. So, and you always have to be a brand. As you can see, if you meet me in a conference, you will see me like this. I will always look kind of same. I have the same red shirt or red jacket. Red shoes, absolutely. So that's something that I really care about. So I am preparing myself in advance. When I arrive, how will I connect with them? What will I say? Is there something I want to give them because I want to follow up with them? How do I follow up? What is my goal? Do I need more clients? Do I need more network? Do I want to get more podcasts? Do I want to get more interviews? Or do I want to write for somebody? So you have to have a strategic goal in place. This conference is local, and it attracts local clients. Excellent. And this is where I'm going to go because I have a specific goal in mind why I'm going there.
Excellent. Now, when you're out east, I'm not sure if you're close enough, but I was curious. Are you going to be going to the James Jacoby big conference that he's running?
Actually, I'm just interviewing him today in my group, and we will be going over about this conference and speakers and everything what will be mentioned here. So I am considering going just because it's like, probably 1 hour and a half for me.
Got to do it. We got to take our lovely relationships online, offline. I have somebody that I was introduced to and just became Facebook friends. Again, a connection through Jeff Hunter. We literally just friend connected, but I've been following him and he's been following me just through our mutual engagement, I should say. And he's joining me in my office, my physical office in Deer Park, Illinois, outside of Chicago today, this afternoon. I'm super excited about that.
So, oh, wow. That's what it is. And I actually posted something about, relationship building and ruining relationships because, the same way how you can build a relationship, same way some people ruin the relationship. That's a part of the game, right? We don't do it always purposely, but it happens. But I always say when something like this happens, you always have to know what is your response to it. How do you want to brand yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So that's something that I always also want to mention because people don't take really, entrepreneurs, they always say, hey, I'm easy to connect. I can talk to somebody. I can too. I'm extrovert.
Sure.
But how do we really keep those relationships going? So we can, for example, like me and you, we interview each other. We help each other. We really support each other, right? This is building relationships.
That's exactly right. It has to work for everybody. It has to be a giving relationship. And of course, if you're always coming from a space of giving, the relationship will work itself either out together or out completely gone. So I believe in that. I absolutely do. I think that everyone is in our life for a time and a season for a very specific reason. Sometimes we just don't know that reason. So yeah, I believe in that. And networking is just huge. It's enormous. And if you're a heart-centered leader, everything works out the way that it's supposed to, no question about that. So super exciting. Tell us where you're going with conferences. Is this going to be your primary focus? Are you kind of balancing conferences with your niche real estate business, your digital agency? What is your complete focus now moving forward in 2019?
Cathy, you did tell me something before. You told me everything will come to place, everything will kind of like, show where it's going. And I really wasn't clear, how I'm going to brand myself. I am here, helping people to network better. And then I also have a real estate agency, help a real estate agent. So how can I put this together? How can I connect this? But guess what? I just got a client that actually needs me to help him run a seminar for his real estate business.
Uh-huh.
So I get to be the one who helps organize this event from a digital perspective, sell tickets, set up messenger bots for attendees, make sure he has a follow-up in place and everything like that, right? Excellent. So my ultimate goal is to work with conference organizers, and I really want to help them with coaching their attendees on how to take advantage of what you just mentioned. That will be my ultimate vision, to really help them with coach them on how they can maximize on their conference. Yes. Plus, I would love to work with the conference organizers. I want to really set up the digital connection vibe. When you arrive to a conference, I want you to feel taken care of. I want you to, in your bot, to be able to, know exactly what's happening, what session is coming up, where can you eat, like what is around. Like, I want you to really be able to even know sponsors and have everything in place. And that's the whole idea, how I can utilize my skills that I already have, creating funnels and messengers and ads and things like that, because I believe in this space. It's growing industry, and more people are putting events together, so they need me.
I love it so much. So I love your plan for the future, and I think that obviously this is coming to you and it's evolving, and we just kind of let our businesses evolve naturally like that. I love the fact that you knew that you had a passion in this area and you're actually combining it with your original founded company, and now to branch that out. It's not an accident either. I was able to connect you recently with somebody who's doing events, and she is fantastic. Lainey Sullivan, shout out to you. She's now starting her own events. The world is going to know her, I assure you, very, very soon. She's amazing and remarkable, and anybody who does events, who has ever tapped into her, seen her in business, I have heard nothing but raving reviews. Cannot wait to see how this all comes together. So I know you're going to do huge things. So you tell me about impact. First of all, let me go back to your children. I see you in the digital space, not only for yourself and your husband, but I'm watching you evolve your children, training your children, educating your children in such a kind and loving environment, but teaching them the way of the future. Tell our audience a little bit about that, because this is intriguing to me, because you're doing it right. You're training them the right way. First of all, they're quality human beings. I know that you're training them up with an incredible value system. Thank you for doing that, because they're going to be positive contributors to our society. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
But let's talk a little bit about that. How are you educating and training them? Because I'm seeing them, they're doing books. They have their own YouTube channels. They're doing their own shows. I mean, amazing. Talk to us a little bit about that.
My kids are very entrepreneurial. They have very entrepreneurial spirit, and they either because they see me or my husband doing this, or because they're this way, I don't really know how it is. But I know when my son was 4 years old, he told me, Mommy, can you not buy me a present? Can you buy me studio YouTube equipment?
Sweet.
I was speechless. I said, okay, absolutely. I didn't know what to do. I researched everything, and we got this for his birthday. We set up a channel. I learned everything. I was like up till 4 a.m. learning how to set up a YouTube channel for kids and all the regulation about kids and making sure he's safe and everything that I can handle this. So I learned how to record videos and edit and everything, and he has his channel. My 2.5-year-old started doing videos as well with him. Then he set up his new channel about cooking. He wants to inspire all kids to cook from the book, not from the box.
I love it.
His previous program, he was teaching kids about, muscles up, tablet down, how to develop your body muscles, your brain muscles by reading more books, by walking outside and things like that. He is always like that. So I'll have to send you the videos of him. I recorded him. He was calling neighbors and setting up business. He was saying, hey, I'm calling you because I'd like to know if I set up this business, I'd like to clean your car, remove the snow for $5. Would you be interested when snow comes? So he was
call center has what I want to know.
So exactly. I couldn't believe that he wanted to know ahead of time.
That's direct telephone sales, guys. Hey, and by the way, that's the true meaning of telemarketing. Using that telephone to market your product and service to sell through. I love him. I already but now I really love him.
So exactly. To me, it's very important that he understands how things work. He always asks me, he reads Grant Cardone, and when people come and he will ask, do you know Tony Robbins? Do you know Grant Cardone? Do you know Kelly Maddox? Oh, you don't know anybody. Like, he thinks this is people you should know. He doesn't think. So, and the teachers, this is what teacher told us. She called us for a meeting and told us, I see he's a leader. He's very different. I don't know who he is, but he's going to be something. I just see the way how he presents in the class, the way how he is. Because he said, while other kids are playing with each other, hitting each other when we have a little break in between, he takes his books and he reads. And he reads 200 pages of his books, sometimes a day, because he's so into reading. And I couldn't believe, because, those are books have pictures and everything, obviously, those are his books, different. Sure. But still, she needs to stop him from reading. And both of them always want to know what they can do, where can they travel, and things like that. Those are their questions. I take parenting. I always ask you, always admire you for you being mother to 7 kids. I always say, how did she do this? But, my kids are not the best, obviously. There are so many parents that are better than me in parenting. But I just say, we have communication. Very good communication. They're very curious. I answer any question, even though I feel sometimes it's early. I do answer it, and we go and educate ourselves. So if there's any kind of question, we go to YouTube and say, hey, let's actually see what it is. Yeah. So he learned to be curious. He learned to ask me ingredients in the food, in the drinks. He wants to eat healthy, and he asked me, before he puts something in the mouth, okay, let's see how this is made, what is inside. Sure. So that's the kind of side of him. And also my 4-year-old is the same way. He wants to be a rapper. He already has his song. So he's rapping every day. Even we are rapping his song. He's not made yet. But we are looking how we can make this happen for him, because he has a little song he sings.
I love it. Well, you have helped me with my children along the way, too. Just so you know, by the time you have 7 kids, they say you have your 10,000 hours in for everything. Oh. I'm getting to be an industry expert on the whole birthing babies thing. So you really have helped me, too. My youngest 2 boys, Christian and Kevin, they both now want to be gamers. They both want to be professional soccer players. They're both brilliant and students, and they're both very kind human beings, great souls. All of my children really are, but my 2 youngest ones really want to take their life and bring it online, and they know that there's a way to monetize that. And thanks to you, I actually followed and said, I'm like, this can be done. I don't know a lot about it, but I know enough from watching you. I'm like, let's just do it. And we're starting, and I'll have to train a little bit further online and off when it comes to that. So thank you for sharing your story with your boys. They're beautiful. They're amazing. They're going to be hugely impactful. Which leads us down, because we're kind of running out of time here. So I want to learn, what are next steps for you? How can we help you? How can our audience find you? What's next for Sonja that we could be watching?
I really would love everybody to be in my group. It's called Conference for Entrepreneurs.
Excellent.
If you are a speaker, author, somebody who loves conferences, somebody who wants to be a speaker, who has a business, your place is in this group. And the reason why, because I always bring in, Cathy knows, is always amazing experts. I have a lot of, I build my relationships this way as well, because I bring them, I share with them my audience as well, and I share their knowledge with my audience. I'm very also picky who I bring in, and I really want to have people that are doing things in the online space. So when it comes to that, I always say you need to be where people are. So my group is growing every day. It's not the biggest group online, but it's for sure one that has amazing people in it. I'm very proud of every of my member, because every time I connect with them on a deeper level, I see how much more they do in life, how they are inspired, and what is their mission. Everybody has some kind of mission to help the world make a better place. So you have to be in this group, Conference for Entrepreneurs.
Excellent.
Absolutely. So my website is sonja.com, and this is more for people that are, interested to work with me, businesses that want to work with me one-on-one. But if you want to build network, this is where you find me.
Excellent. Thank you. We'll put that in the show notes so that everyone can find you. And for your passion and your purpose, making a big impact on the earth while you have your time available here, if somebody was to say, sum it all up, Sonja, in 1 sentence or 2, what is your intention for making a difference or an impact on this earth, the time you have available here? How do you want to impact the world?
I take parenting extremely serious. It's almost like a business as well, because I take this very seriously. And I believe that me being a role model and leader to my kids, it's actually going to position them as leaders and role models, and they will be just exactly the way they will learn those values I have as well. I actually became a better person because of them, because I need to watch more about how I really say things and how I think, and I need to really kind of develop those kind of thinking as well, just because of them, right? I wanted to be a good role model for them. My impact, I always say, build a good relationship, build network, be good to person. Even those people that are not good to you, find a way to really be good to them, right? So I believe that with them being so strong, and they have all of these such strong skills, at this time, in a video and presenting and speaking and showing and writing a book and things like that. So I believe with those skills, they're going to just be better humans. So I always say, I'm in a group of different kind of parents. I always say, take ownership with your kids. Don't let your kids bully other kids. Don't let that be your child. If this is my child, I will make sure I take ownership of that. Don't expect teachers to educate your kids, your job. So I always say, everything what I do, that's my child. Exactly. So I always say, it's just the way, I'm a very direct person, and I always say, we as a parent, no matter what you do, even if you don't have a fancy job or fancy agency or anything like that, you can really be a great role model and teach them either about food, either what they drink and how they treat their body or their health and things like that. I have different missions in a business, different missions in the world, but if I could pick one thing, it will be really making sure that your kids, the young ones, when they're watching you, they become really better version even of you. So
I don't think I've had a better answer. That is absolutely perfect. Your head is on exactly where it needs to be. You're in the right place. That is a huge success. I mean, what it boils down to is the legacy that we leave, first and foremost, is the family that we have developed. And nothing is bigger than that. We're very faithful people. I know that you are. I know that I am. You're going to leave this earth a better place because of your value system, Sonja. So thank you again for that. That makes a big difference to the world. And I know our audience is going to really much appreciate that. Some of our audience might not have had that type of parenting in their life, but boy, can we impact them and how that they change the world by having that positive impact on their children. And that's how we do it. One soul, one life at a time. I guess my final question to you today is, the show is about going big, and going big or going broke could mean so many different things for so many people. It could be wealth, it could be financial, it could be health, it could be spiritual, it could be a number of things. But if you were to leave our audience today with maybe a couple of tips, 1, 2, or 3 tips on how they could implement some practical ideas so they too can consider going big, what would you say to them today?
I am going to tell you something what just recently happened to me, and that changed my day, my week, my month, and I think my life. And I'm going to tell you what happened. We have a friend, Michelle Scaff, and she told me one thing, and I wasn't really this kind of way. She told me I need to learn to receive.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, when she told me, I had immediate eye-opener. I heard it before, but the way how she said it to me, I heard it. So she said, when somebody comes to you and wants to help you, don't be always rejecting and be always on guard. I am on guard a lot. That's not a bad thing. But when you know that somebody coming from a good place and wants to try to help you, learn to receive.
Excellent.
That can change your life. For me, in particularly, I learned to receive a new advice, new ways of treating my body and my brain and what I put in my mouth, right? So be ready to receive and listen to your gut. You can tell who is a good person, who is not, right? When somebody comes to you, you can use it in a business as well. When somebody comes to you and say, hey, I can make your business better, and you can tell they have knowledge and they are coming from a good place, let them do that for you. Yep. When somebody comes to you and has some kind of, in our case, nutrigenomics to show you and tell you this can help you, give it a try. Right?
We're able to tap into our systems today and actually create the change as opposed to adding supplements that many people are trying to figure it out. Our bodies are working on our behalf. They're being activated. So nutrigenomics, if you want to learn more about that, reach out to Sonja as well. She's amazing at it. She knows a lot about it. And our dear friend, Michelle Scaff, thank you very much for mentioning her, the fact that she has introduced it to us. And these are big things that are life-changing. And these are going to be scientifically changing the universe as we know it today. So thank you. And so many people who need that help are going to seek into it.
Absolutely. So that's the one thing really I say, if you learn to receive in a business and a personal level, you can move forward. Because, Cathy, if you can help me with things that I don't know how to do, if you're better, of course I'm going to take your advice. right? So don't be always have this wall in front of you. Sometimes just let people lead you and tell you how to do things, because sometimes you can just let it go and be open to receive.
Absolutely. That is amazing. And you know what? I don't know if you need to come up with any more tips. That is a fabulous one. So I think we're going to end it there, because I don't think we could have done it more perfectly. Sonja, thank you so much for being with me today. We'll be in touch, of course, minute by minute, hour by hour, week by week, and friends forever. Super thrilled to have you in my life. You're a blessing to me. You're a blessing to our audience. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It was an honor. Very good time. I had them. Your questions were amazing. And thank you so much for asking me all this, so I was able to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Podcasters, thank you for joining us today. Please subscribe to the show below by clicking that big red subscribe button. Share and rate the show so that all of your friends too can go big. I am Cathy Karabetsos, and you could find me at CathyKarabetsos.com on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Have a grateful day, everybody, and go big.
You've been listening to Go Big or Go Broke with Cathy Karabetsos. If you enjoyed this episode, then you better play big and hit that subscribe button.